Hey guys, what's up? Today we're gonna go over my March 2021 budget, see how February ended, and then see the changes that I implemented based off of how February went. If we're just getting to know each other, hello, my name is Trey. I make videos based on personal finance here on YouTube. My ultimate goal is to get far enough along in my finances to be able to quit working 9-to-5 jobs. We do have a long way to get there, but we're starting with trying to pay down all of our debt. But yeah, let's dig into the budget, see how February went, and see what we are spending on in March of 2021. Okay, so we're gonna start off by actually looking at our February budget and see how that ended. I do have a video when I set up my February budget, but this is going to be an update and we're gonna see how it closed out. Everything that's in bold are new entries, and that's what I'll be going over. I did end up going over in my February budget in my personal and restaurant spend. So you can see here that my budget was $150 for personal spending, and I ended up spending $259.02. So we can actually go over here in this personal spending little bubble. A lot of my personal spending is alcohol related. So I like to have fun with my roommates and my friends when I can, and we're drinkers. It's just what it be. On February 16th, I didn't do all of this at once, I swear. It's just the way the credit card charged it. So not credit card, debit card. I don't really use my credit card right now. But yeah, so on the 16th, you can see that I was charged for 2 purchases for beer. Again, that wasn't on the same day, but it just got charged on the same day. I also bought discounted Valentine's Day candy because it's the cheapest day in the year to buy candy. And I was like, you know what? Why not? We'll have some fun. This dentist charge got me. So I recently switched insurances with my job, and I thought that with the cleaning it would be completely covered, but I did have a copay of $30, and then the dentist was sneaky and was like, do you want fluoride? She was like, it's really important that you get this, but it's not really covered by insurance. And I was like, okay, well, how much is it? And she was like, oh, it's $30. I thought that since my cleaning was going to be covered, the total charge would be like $30. So I was like, okay, sure, just do it. I've never actually gotten fluoride before the dentist. So I was like, I'll figure it out. That'll be fine. It ended up being double because I guess I didn't understand how the insurance worked. They were actually, fun fact, trying to charge me $260. And I was like, there is absolutely no way that that's correct, that I have to pay $260 for a cleaning. And then the receptionist took a deeper look and asked other people that worked there, and they corrected her. We're like, no, he only owes $30 for a copay. So in any case, I wasn't expecting to pay $62.30 for the dentist. So I actually made another table that includes both my restaurant and personal spend, and also minus the dentist charge. And then I also bought furniture at Goodwill that I'm planning to flip. I actually am already in the middle of making a video about that. I bought a chair, a green leather chair with golden legs, and I also bought a wicker storage basket, all for $42.40, which I think was a great find. I was actually already able, spoiler alert, to sell the wicker chest. I made a pretty decent profit off that. But anyway, you can think more of this as an investment, but I did spend $42.40 at the Goodwill. Anyways, all of that together is $259.02. If we subtract the $62.30 for the dentist, you can see that I actually only went over in my personal budget by $26.02, which honestly is not that shabby. So in my March budget, I did actually increase the personal spend, but I only increased it by a couple dollars, and we'll get there in a second. The other big thing we have to cover for February is the restaurant spend. Again, I went over a lot here, $94.65, which is not great. This is definitely the category where I can cut back the most. You can see that I already actually had quite a few charges for February, but like I had mentioned before in my February budget video, the first 6 charges here I wasn't expecting to actually have, because I didn't understand that I'm going by pay period, not exactly month. So it's not like everything in my February budget actually started in February. It starts in my last paycheck from January, which was January 25th. So all of these, and this was before I started this video, so all of these I almost didn't count because it was with the wrong mindset. And now that I know what I'm doing, March's budget will actually be an accurate reflection of okay, I have all my ducks in a row. This is what's actually happening once I understand what I'm doing. If we subtract the days in January that I didn't understand were a part of this budget again, I actually overspent by $63.31, not $94.65. Now, with a total budget of only $100, I mean, going 60 some over is still very significant. So what I plan to do is actually increase the budget a little bit, still keep it challenging for myself so that I'm cutting back incrementally, but not doing something that's just destined to fail. So, like I said, a lot of the times I've just been eating out as like a reward for myself because there's literally nothing else to do. I should probably change it with something like exercise, but all the other stuff was pretty much right around where I expected it to be. My fixed expenses, internet, cable, it was like $2 more, so I changed that for March. Spotify, I'm just gonna change 10 to $9.99 because it's always $9.99. And my student loan, of course, I'm still saving $1,500 towards my student loan so that just in case relief gets passed, I'll have that in my savings account as opposed to already applying it towards a student loan and not being able to take the relief credit from Biden if that ever happens. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I just went over in those two categories, so I technically did go over budget, like $159. Yes, not around. It has that exactly there, $159.35. Planning to change that in March. But without further ado, let's go into March, see what changes I did implement. We're on the March tab. We need to, first of all, actually change this to say March. There's a few things actually in income that we need to highlight. I actually have 2 extra incomes coming in this month. They're very small, but income nonetheless. The first is that income from flipping. So again, I told you I flipped a wicker chest from Goodwill. I really didn't have to do anything for it. I just posted it for more money than I got it for, and I was able to make $60 off of that. So kind of spoils for the video that's coming, but I was able to do that. So I have $60 in cash. And then also, I've been doing pretty well at work. And as an incentive for some of the newer hires, they're rewarding people that are doing well. So I'm getting actually an extra $150 to my paycheck, but it's going to be taxed, and some of it is going to go to my 401k just because I have it set up automatically. So I'm expecting to only get around $100 out of that $150. I have to decide where I'm going to put this extra $160. I've already done that, so let's dive into this month's budget. Okay, so one of the first things I did was I changed rent to the actual amount that I pay. I usually pay $665.83 every month. I live in a 3-bedroom apartment in the Maryland suburbs of the DC region, and I live with 2 friends, so we each have a bedroom, and it's pretty cheap. I actually paid 1 cent more, I know, shook, because I was actually last to pay rent, and that's just kind of a rule of thumb we have. If you're the last person to pay rent, you pay the extra penny, which is silly and doesn't matter, but alas. Car insurance hasn't come out yet. I pay $30 to my parents every month for my phone bill, so I knew that. Gas, I filled up once, and it was only like $15. So it was more of like a topping off type thing. So I still have like $25, yes, $24.77 left for that budget. Electric and gas bill has not come out yet. Groceries, I've gone to the grocery store once, and I'm going to go again today, so that's probably going to go up another like $50-$60. And then internet subscriptions and student loan I pay on my second check. Let's talk about the personal and the restaurant spend real quick. If we compare to the February budget, you can see that I gave myself $100 for restaurant. This time I'm giving myself $150 because that was the most unrealistic thing. I know that's an increase of like 50% on the budget, but it's what I'm gonna do because it was very unrealistic. And the way I reward myself, and a lot of the times the way that I have fun, is by going out to eat. In this case, just getting takeout with friends, bringing it home, watching a movie, something like that. But it is how I reward myself. I don't think $150 a month is that crazy, so we'll see how much I actually go over again and see if I really need to implement strategies to cut back there. Personal, like I said, I think I had a budget of $150 in February. Yeah, I had $150. And minus the dentist, again, if we go back to this chart, I really only went over $26.02. So again, to try and incentivize myself to still cut back, but give myself a little bit of slack, I increased that by $15, and hopefully that's gonna be a bit more realistic. If we go into my personal spending category, you can see that I bought alcohol once, and then I spent money on actually my friends for their birthdays. I had 2 friends who had birthdays these past 2 weeks. I just bought pizza from Domino's, which is super cheap. It was like $8. I don't know why that's so revolutionary. I think it's because it's like, I'm used to delivery, which is like $25, like for a couple pizzas. And this was one pizza, like a large pizza, and it was like $8. So I was like, damn. But anyway, I did that. And then I spent money on another birthday's dinner, another friend's birthday's dinner. Yeah. That was like $18.30. And the reason I don't include that in restaurant is one, to make myself feel better about the restaurant budget. But two, I take into account intent. Again, like I said, there's not much to do right now. So a lot of what I do with my friends is eating out. If this is like for someone, like it's for their birthday, or it's to celebrate something, I don't count that as just going out to eat, because the intent isn't to just go to a restaurant and get food. It's like to celebrate this person. So I don't know. To me, that's a little different. It could even be part of like a giving category, to be honest. But I don't have that, so I'm grouping it in with personal right now. My internet bill, again, is the same. I'm just going to wait for that to come out. Subscriptions, again, change that to $9.99. And student loans, still going to save $1,500 this month to eventually pay that off either in June or September / whenever interest picks up again. Now, my savings budget, where I was able to allot those extra expenses from income, one major change that I'm implementing is actually stopping my savings from my emergency fund. If we go back into this February budget tab, you can see that I was saving $300 last month to go to my emergency fund. Kind of going back to the Dave Ramsey plan for a second, it doesn't really make sense to do that when I'm saving money to pay off debt first. Like doing both at the same time is just kind of weird, because why save for an emergency fund when I'm just going to be paying the debt down and then my emergency fund is going to be depleted? So it's like, it's confusing. What I've done instead is I've changed that category from emergency to my moving fund, because one thing that I actually haven't been taking into account is that I'm going to be moving in June or July, which is like a huge expense. I'm going to need my own furniture. I do not have my own furniture, which is really expensive. So what I'm doing is I'm saving $300 a month instead for moving, and I'm treating that as like a sinking fund, and it's going in with all my other sinking funds, as you can see here below. So I actually transferred the $300 that I saved in February towards my sinking funds for moving. I've already paid $300 this month for that as well, but once this $100 hits my bank account, however much it actually turns out to be is how much I'm going to put also towards this moving fund. So I've estimated around an extra $100, $400, but of course it's just going to be whatever I make from that incentive little bonus. I paid $100, $50 towards Christmas, $50 towards my car sinking fund for this year as well. And I also saved $230 for my celebration trip that, again, I'm taking this July. I talked about it last budget video, me and my friend Natalie going to see my friend Ashley in Florida. Additionally to this moving fund, any funds that are left over from this road trip, which I expect there will be because we're not going to be spending a lot of money, and also we're going to have free places to stay, whatever is left over from that is also going to go towards my moving fund, which is great. That's enough money for my first down deposit if they require a month's rent up front. And if they don't require that, that'll be enough money to get some really nice pieces of furniture in very quickly. So I think no matter what happens, I'll be covered. Yeah, I'm really excited about this change, honestly. It's nice to actually have that accounted for so I don't feel scared about moving. It just creates a nice buffer for myself for July when I start being on my own. Another thing that I'm saving for also is health copays. So that's another sinking fund that I'm starting because, again, of that dentist trip that I was not expecting to cost $60. Now I know that if I go to the doctor or I go to the dentist, I have a copay that's $20, $30. I'll have that saved up for the month. Also, as always, I'm saving for my 401k that gets automatically pulled out of my account each month, around $12 or so each paycheck. The last question that I kind of want to address with this budget is, where did the extra money come from to increase the personal spend and the restaurant spend? It did not come from the flipping and the work incentive, actually. It just came from where I was at in my February budget, where I was over. So for example, I was over $30.77 for the electric and gas bill. So I scaled that $70 down to $40. So that was $30 I was able to add. I mean, my car insurance was only $3, but my gas was $30. So I decreased that budget as well. That's at least $60 that I was able to play with to include this health copays option, as well as increase the groceries in the personal budget. So, and then there was a little room from the Flip Inc. went to either health copays or the restaurant budget. And just to kind of summarize it, again, these are the major changes that I've implemented in my budget from February to March. The first thing is that I have an extra $160 to play around with this month. The second thing is that I've changed my emergency fund to actually a sinking fund for moving in July. While this may sound like a setback, I'm actually really relieved because I get to keep focusing on lowering my debt with the savings that I do have And I also feel covered for a fixed expense that is coming, no matter what. So I actually feel more prepared than honestly just shoving the money into a savings account that I don't really know what I'm going to use it for. The last thing is that I made some increases in my restaurant budget, a major increase there to account for more realistic spending while also challenging myself. I've also increased my personal budget slightly to challenge myself while also making it more realistic and giving myself a bit more flexibility. In just a few years, I hope to be very, very close to that financial goal of freedom. And again, if you want a more broader context of how this budget fits into my overall goals of leaving 9 to 5 and becoming financially free, please check out this video as well that's in the description, which shows an outline of my goals for the next 5 years. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Have a great rest of your day, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe and push the bell for notifications of when I release more content. Thank you so much and bye.